exactly what's happening. Tell your friends and families, please, text them now, send them the link so they can watch. They're going to learn the most out of this thing. So this is kind of like a summary of this whole 2 days here in the skits and the discussion. So please make sure everyone is watching. Make sure you put on our big IZFNA group too. If BQ group wants to put on their group, maybe you can put a link there so they can watch, if they have time, of course. Screen? Okay. 1 second. Okay, so we are starting. The way we're going to do it is that, of course, we divide into 3 teams now instead of 6 teams combined. The winner will get 50 points as the heaviest weight for the point system, and then 30 points for the second team, and then 10 points for the third team, or 20 points. So, and then of course, after this is the last activity, and then we add up all the points for 2 days, and the winner will be awarded at the end. Who is present here, not who were there yesterday, not today, they miss out. So I'm going to randomly pick the name of the team first, and for the, is it on now, live relay, Qasim? Okay, so people who are watching online, we are doing skits, live skits, and our topic is bridging today's generation gap, interaction between family members, specifically, of course, youth and parents. And Moulana will be concluding these 2 days of session, with the discussion around these skits. And there are 3 teams here will be presenting today. And there are 3 different teams they have. And when they come up here, they will tell you what theme that they got and that what this skit is all about and about the characters and everything. Inshallah, it'll be fun, at the same time, educational for all of us, inshallah. And with that, I would like to pick the first name. And let's see which team is going first. Okay, so the green and purple team, you are going to go out from that door back and stand out here. Yes, green and purple team, you will be out here from this door. So come out here, clear this area. Okay, so someone, Qasim, you are not in this team, you're in this team. Okay, Muhammad, if he's here, he has to get the camera. Muhammad, you have to watch the camera. This kid live delay ho raha hai. So you have to have the skit going, right? They're watching. They're not going to get, because if you can, if it's possible. Actually, you're getting full screen on it. I think it should be okay. All right? Yeah, if you have to move, you can move. Okay, good. Ji. Yes, I'm going to make sure that. I'm sorry? Okay, so green team and purple team will be presenting the team, the skits. And please, this is very important. Everyone else needs to be completely silent throughout this whole thing. As I say, it's going live, and we want everyone to listen to it, so nothing, you can laugh, of course, if it's a funny scene, but no talking, and just listen to the skit. And then they will tell Moulana what they really want out of this skit from him, inshallah. Okay, we have a limited time, so are you guys ready? Can we just move this chair? You guys need any chairs to put beforehand? Okay. Mama, he cannot be here because people, he can be, you're right there maybe, but not here. Okay. Thoda sa move back, if you can a little bit, move back a little bit, please, because they need a lot of people in their team. Ma'am, actually,
brothers, move back, please.
Ma'am, it's going to be difficult for him to watch this kid, because you have to watch from this side. You should sit there. We want you to sit here, but you won't be able to see it then. You have to find here. Moulana is fine. Okay, then please move back a little bit. Thank you. Okay, green team and purple team. Oh, team green and purple, right? Yeah, green and purple. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 mics, and one is handheld and one is this one, okay? Echo check.
All right, this is the Oscar-winning performances of the green and purple team. So this is Act 1, Scene 1, 0 to 7 years old. Play with them.
Mommy, I bought all the blue M&Ms.
Beta, there's so many colors in the bag.
No, I just want the blue ones.
Okay, fine, we will go out and get them.
No, you can go. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to eat the blue ones. I just want the blue ones.
I'm going to take you to the movie, so to get the blue M&Ms.
Yeah, you can go. What? Movies?
Alright, this is Act 1, Scene 2.
You don't need the mic.
Boy, I had a hard day at work today. I just want to play for a while, eat dinner, and crash.
Baba, can I get a ride?
What?
Can I get a piggyback ride?
Fine.
Come on in. Come on in.
What are these people doing?
That's awesome, Dad. That reminds me of the time when the Prophet was playing with kids and his companions were asking him to go to the mosque. And he said, I can't leave these kids until they allow me to. I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Alright, so this is Scene 1. Now Act 2, Scene 1.
So it's Wednesday night in the middle of the school year.
Mike, louder.
I'm so proud of myself for making this masterpiece.
Go ahead.
Mom, can I go to the movies?
No,
Why not?
Face the audience.
because you have a lot of homework to do. You can't be so angry at small things. You have to focus on things that will help you in the long run, such as your homework.
All right,
Now
Mom.
go do it.
Thank you. Bye.
Dare you.
Come on, quick. Alright, so this is now Act 2, Scene 2, a continuation of 7 to 14. Discipline them.
Mike, take one of them. You go help him with the mic.
Okay. Mom, can we go to
Face
the
the audience,
movies?
face the audience.
Did you guys do the dishes yet?
The dishes? Why doesn't she do it? She's a girl.
That doesn't matter. You guys both need to do the dishes.
Well, why can't Fatih do it?
Because you guys are older and I expect more from you guys and you guys are more responsible. If you guys don't know how, or I'll teach you guys the way I like to do my dishes to be done. Come.
I'll go with the mic.
Next day.
There you go. Perfect.
Next day.
Next day again.
Ah, good job coloring.
The dishes aren't done. I see Mom's playing. Why don't we just do it?
Yo, let's do the dishes.
Face the audience. All right, bow and go.
Careful.
I'm going to recite a dua from Saif Sajjadiya, which the Imam is asking Allah's help in upbringing of children. He says, help me in their upbringing, their education, and my devotion towards them. Give me among them from thyself male children. Make that a good time for me, and make them a help for me in that which I ask from thee. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
All right, this is Act 3, Scene 1, 14 to 21. Learn from them.
So, beta, have you decided what you want to be when you grow up?
Daddy, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a filmmaker.
Thappar marunga. I told you so many times you have to be doctor. Our family is all doctors. We all make good money. You will be disgraced to our family.
But Daddy, my movies can affect people. They can change their perception on things. Please, Daddy.
Fine, you do what you want, but don't come running back to me when you're broke.
Okay, this is Act 3, Scene 2, a party. I'm gonna come approach you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I know you. I saw your son's documentary of Iran. I saw your son's documentary of Iran. It really changed my perspective on things. Amazing, amazing job.
Oh, really? Well, you know, I did push him for a long time. I'll take full credit for that.
That concludes our Oscar-winning presentation. Oh, well.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هنالك دعا زكريا ربه قال ربي هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء.
Chapter 3, Surah Al-Imran, verse 38, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And that Zachariah called upon his Lord, saying, My Lord, grant me from yourself a good offspring. Indeed, you are the hearer of supplication. Salawat.
That concludes our presentation.
Alhamdulillah. Loud. Everyone come inside, please. And background. Everybody together. Can you take a picture of this, please? All this thing. Let me get out of the way for you. So 1 second. There we go. Wow, that's a big team. We don't have any. We have like 5 people in there. Wow, you guys have a big team. We have 6 people in our team, by the way. So we automatically get 50 points. More coming. Look at this. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. MashaAllah, good presentation, good skit, good acting. Otherwise, good job, MashaAllah. You're a good kid. You're a good kid. Okay, moving right along. I think let's find out next team who this is. I think it's going to be difficult to beat this team. They did a wonderful job here. And the next team is yellow and pink. All right. So I guess we are last. You need mics, right?
I think this first thing.
Some of the mics we need because the relay होने, आवाज relay होने के लिए ना.
नहीं उनको एक्शन हाथों से भी करने हैं. मेरा नहीं ख्याल उनको जरूरत होगी. आप अगर बहुत loud है.
They didn't want to use the mic, but
So I think the problem is, if you don't use the mic, you won't get anything on the screen.
Oh, yes.
If you can, it's better to use the mic.
Use the mic.
Because they won't
So the use of the mic is not counted against.
No, it's not.
I'll take that one.
क्योंकि आप अपने switch करते रहेंगे.
बुलाएंगे ना? बुलाएंगे.
Take mic up.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وآله الطيبين الطاهرين صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
صلي على.
Scene 1. Just need the grandma. Ali, who is 18, is leaving his house to go to his friend Eric's graduation party. Ali and Eric have known each other since first grade, and this is their last get-together before college.
Hey, Grandma, Dad, I'm going to go to my friend's graduation party.
Okay, Ali. When you will be back?
I'll be back around 10, 11-ish. I'll be sure to tell you.
Okay, sure.
It's my friend's graduation party. There's only been a few people there, don't worry. Yeah, but like everyone in the class was invited. There's only going to be a few people.
Hold on. Ali, don't forget to call me once you get there.
Okay, Dad, I won't.
Scene 2. Ali gets to Eric's party and is surprised. He thought it was going to be 20 people, but there are at least 100 people there. Music is pounding from the house, and as he walks to the backyard, he sees that there's alcohol on the table.
I'm loaded.
Yeah.
Alright, should I get the mic? Oh yeah, you're talking.
Yeah.
Just pass it on to me.
Here, you're gonna give it some.
No, I have.
Ready? So how did you guys talk about that? Like, did you hear about it? Yo, Ali. Oh, man, how's it going? I'm glad you can make it. Join the party. Let's go.
Hey, man.
Oh, what's up, bro? There's chips over there.
You want a beer? We got beer. You want beer?
No, I don't drink. I'm sorry.
Come on.
You're in college. Lemon is for kids. I mean, come on.
Fine. I'll try a little bit. I'll try a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know.
Oh, wait, who's this talking now?
Scene 3. A few days later, Ali is at home. He has been feeling guilty about trying alcohol since Eric's party. He cried the next morning in his room, but he didn't know who to tell. Finally, he decides to tell his dad. Ali goes downstairs and finds his dad and grandma sitting together.
Dad, can I tell you something?
Yeah, surely. You look. Is everything okay? You look worried.
I don't know. I didn't have any intention of doing this, but like I was at the party and one thing led to another, and I ended up just trying a little bit of alcohol. I really didn't.
What? You did drink at the party?
तू मेरे घर में घुसा कैसे आज? हराम चीज को छुआ तूने? या अल्लाह मेरे घर में कलंक का टीका पैदा हो गया? या मौला खैर कर हिदायत दे हमारे. और तू इमरान खड़ा तो हो तू जरा.
Hold on, Ammi. Hold on.
क्या कर रही है ऐसे? चुप जमा बैठ जा के. बात नहीं करना मुझसे. मैंने क्या कहा था? अमेरिका माता. देख ले तेरी तरबियत. शराबें चल रही है. कलम जा रहे हैं.
Sometime. Let me.
इमाम बारगाह में रिश्ते नहीं आएंगे मेरी बच्चियां. अरे मेरी मासूम बच्चियां. क्या बोला? कोई हमें रिस्पेक्ट है. Nobody will respect us in the community.
Please, seated. Let me.
Nobody will talk to us. Salam to us.
Let me handle the situation. Let me handle the situation, please.
किस गुनाह की सजा?
Please, seated. I know you are very angry.
अपनी बहन की.
I know you are very angry. Please, seated.
How dare he does it?
Give me some time. Give me some time, please. Let him.
चला जा. तुझे तो गैस स्टेशन पे जॉब
Would you please give me some time? Give me some time, please. For God's sake, for God's sake. For God's sake, for God's sake, give me some time. Can you go? Give me some time. Look, Ammi, let me explain to you the situation. See, we know it's a very terrible situation. We understand that. But try to understand. Try to understand. We have to, we have to plan things accordingly, please. Try to understand. No. See, you taught us this beautiful message of Imam Ali. That hearts of the people are like wild birds. They attach themselves with those who love and train them. We have to, resolve this situation very diligently, with love, with care. I'm pretty sure that we would be able to fix this situation. Let me call him, please. Have patience. Let me call him. Ali, come here.
Yes, Dad.
Ali, I understand what happened. I'm totally devastated.
Sorry, Dad.
You let us down. You understand that?
Yeah.
But I understand this situation. It's a difficult situation. When I grew up, this was not the situation. Liquor, alcohol, and all these things were not available. The scale is different. You're facing a different challenge. I understand that. But at least I'm happy that you realize your mistake and you have come back. I'm happy.
I didn't know that Allah can forgive me.
No, Ali, try to understand. See, we have to understand this basic message of our religion. And the basic message is that Allah Ta'ala loves those who repent. If you just go and read Surah Baqarah, its ayah 222 clearly says, Inna Allah yuhibbul mutahharin wa yuhibbul Inna Allah yuhibbut tawabin wa yuhibbul mutahharin. Allah loves those who repent and purify themselves. So you have to repent, but remember it has to be a true tawbah. You understand what true tawbah is?
Yes.
You have to show with your action you are not supposed to do this kind of thing again.
What do I do next time, Dad?
Ali, I understand that there was some communication gap, okay? But I promise, beta, I would try my level best to bridge that gap. I would try my level best, honestly. If you ever, come across this situation, come to me, call me, text me. All the channels are open. Hopefully, this situation would never, ever happen in the future.
It won't, Dad. Sorry.
Thank you, beta. Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Ameen. Salawat.
MashaAllah, excellent job by Yellow and everyone needs to come back for a group picture all together. Please, we are doing great on time, 3:45, 15 more minutes for our last team. So blue team and the peach team go outside there. I will be there. Muhammad, can you take this? I'm in the team. So basically, yeah.
Is someone keeping time? Blue team, I think you're taking a long time. The audience is getting anxious. They want to see his show.
-10.
You're gonna lose points.
Assalamu alaikum. How's everyone? Alright, so this is the final play, and our hadith is on the third one, which is if you look at your parents in a kind way, it's like going to Hajj, and if you look at your parents in a disrespectful way, it's like all your good deeds are not accepted. So we have our our characters. We have a mother who is and we have a father, and this is our first kid, and his name is Ali, and this is their daughter, Zainab, and this is the angel, and that's that's the devil, and that's the angel, and that's Abbas, and this is Sakina. Sanya. Sanya. Okay. Who wants to play?
Abbas and Sanya.
Beta Zehra,
Yes.
did you clean up your room?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you finish your salat?
Yes.
My beta, mashallah. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Have you done all your chores? Clean your bedroom and everything?
Yeah, I did.
Acha, very good. Mashallah. Mashallah.
Why are you being so nice to them? Come on, be a little bit more angry.
In the mic.
Don't listen to him. You know what you're doing.
Yes, I agree. Go away.
Abbas, where is Ali? What time of the night is it right now?
Let me check. It's almost 10 o'clock. I've texted him, called him, and there's no response from him at all.
Hi Dad, hi Mom, how's it going? What's going on?
बेटा सलाम करते हैं माँ बाप को ये हेलो हाय क्या है?
How are you?
Ali, I've called you, I've texted you. There's absolutely no response from you. What's going on?
Dad, listen. I'm 18 years old. I'm an adult. I'm driving. Give me a break, come on. Seriously, I mean, every time I come in, I have to listen to this. I'm really getting annoyed by this now. And it's really frustrating now.
Ali,
seriously.
It's almost 10 o'clock. Maghrib time has passed long ago. What's going on?
Hey, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. You should. You're doing a good job so far.
Think so?
You think so? Keep going.
Do not listen to the devil. You know what you're doing.
Am I talking to you? Go away. So as I was saying, you guys are, I'm sorry to say this, I hate to say this, you're annoying me now, because I'm an adult, I was just out playing with my friends, I was like enjoying with my friends, and it was so much fun, they're so accepting, they're so understanding, and of course, you guys are not.
Bete, but this is not a hotel, this is your home, we are your parents, we love you, this is not the way to talk to us.
I've heard this speech for the last 12 years now, I think, since I'm 8, and 10, and of course my math is bad, but listen, the thing is that I just can't take it anymore because every time I come, now it is to this point now, I'm at this point, when I look at you guys, astaghfirullah, I don't know how I can say this, I just get frustrated and annoyed, I don't want to see you.
Yeah, they don't really care about you.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, you're doing a good job here.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Don't listen to him.
I told you to go away. Bam!
I don't know what we did wrong with him. We gave him everything, he wanted. We've spoiled him. I think, I'm not sure what's going on.
You know, that was our problem. We gave him the Xbox, we gave him his own room, we gave him a brand new car, we gave him everything. And this is what we get in return? I think the mistake we made is we gave him everything.
Oh, by the way, did I tell you I hate you guys?
Good job.
Go away, I told you, go away.
Okay, so this is the end of the play, and as you can see, the parents were not accepting. They were helping the kid, and they're trying to help him understand. But it goes back to the example of the Moulana with the inverted cup. The kid doesn't want to accept anything from the parents. Alright, and this is scene 2. Our next scene is scene 2.
It's coming with the other. Okay, so this next scene and part of our skit is a opposite of what you saw earlier. And now you're going to have a conversation. You're going to see a conversation between a father and a son, and the devil and angel are whispering in both ears for both people.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Baba?
What are you reading? Oh, mashallah. Nahjul Balagha. In which language are you reading this?
English.
English? Okay, English. What? Do you understand everything?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Okay, you should read in Arabic too. Like the real meaning of Nahjul Balagha is in Arabic. You should learn Arabic, okay?
Okay, Baba, I'll try my level.
English is not enough.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. When is the exams?
Next month, Baba.
Next month you have exams?
Yes.
And you're reading this?
Yes.
What was your grade last year? Last semester.
B plus, Baba.
B? Astaghfirullah. B? What are you doing? You're a disgrace to family. You're reading Nahjul Balagha when you have exams in a month? What are you doing? Have you read everything? Are you ready for the exam?
Almost ready, Baba.
Go prepare for exam. You're not going to be Moulana reading with all this Nahjul Balagha stuff.
Oh, okay, Baba.
Why are you being nice to him? Look at him. He's mocking you because you got a B on the last semester.
Don't listen to Shaitan. You're doing good. Respect your parents.
Oh, I agree with you. Go away from here. Hello? Yeah, I'm coming. First I ask my father, then I'll come.
Oh, whose phone was that? Where are you going?
Baba, my friends are waiting me. I want to go with them.
Where? Where are you going?
Moulana Asad Jafri's lectures.
Which Moulana? Which Moulana? I don't care about any Moulana in the town.
Go ahead. Moulana Asad Jafri's lecture.
What lecture? What Moulana? What lecture? I don't care what Moulana is there in town. You have exams next month. You're right? You have to study. All right?
Okay, Baba.
Okay, prepare hard, work for study is your number one choice. Nothing else is important for you. Okay?
Baba. Okay, Baba.
You're doing a good job, okay? Keep doing what you're doing. You're a great father and everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
Baba, I request you, today you give me permission and then I'll study.
All right, okay, thank you. Yes, study hard. That's your first choice. Okay.
Okay, Baba, may I go with my friends?
No. Which friends? Which friends? You're going with the friends?
Yes,
do you know
Baba.
which friends are there?
Baba.
Do you know them? Do you know all their names?
Yes.
Do you know their families?
Yes.
Okay, you should choose your friend really carefully. They might misguide you. I don't know which friends you have. Never introduced them to me. You cannot go with them like that.
Okay, Baba.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is the end of our scene 2. As you can see, we have the opposite with the overbearing parent and the child who was the angel and listening always to his father. So thank you very much.
Group picture.
Good job. Okay, brothers come on this side, sisters on the other side. On the way, Alhamdulillah, right on time. 5 minutes to 4. I can't believe. Ready? Oh, look straight. Devil, I like that. He doesn't need them.
MashaAllah.
Okay, Muhammad, his mic is on. Okay, everybody. Loud salawat for everybody. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraja. So you all remember the themes that we talked about last time. We have it written here, but Moulana will go into that. I won't waste time because we have limited time. Moulana has flight to catch. So right now I'd like to request Moulana to please come up here. And is it okay, Moulana, sitting here? Okay, and then inshallah we'll discuss skit by skit. So first skit was about the culture divide between parents and children. Oh, so this one, second one. So play, oh, you changed it. It changed. Okay, so play with them for the first 7 years, then teach them for the next 7 years, and of course make them advisors for the after age 14, inshallah. So with that, Moulana will take that first, and then we'll go to the next. Salawat.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa bihi nasta'in wa khairu nasir wa mu'in. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, please. There's a story of a robber who enters somebody's house and spends hours in collecting his things and putting it inside of a big bag. And when he goes to lift the bag up, it's very heavy. And he screams, Ya Ali Madad, and he lifts up the bag and he robs the people of their belongings. And the owner of the house finds out what happens, and he wakes up one day, he says, you know, I had spent my entire life, you know, furnishing this house saying, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. And this man came with one Ya Ali and robbed me of everything. I try to spend 2 days with all of you trying to teach you good morals and good values and talking about tolerance and communication, and in one skit, you know, sharab and alcohol and mashallah. My mehnat inshallah was alhamdulillah, it's always amazing to me, and I say this every year at the BQ camp, how creative all of you can be. Some of you, alhamdulillah, were acting very well. Others, it came a little bit too natural. I mean, you could have went on for an hour with the stuff. Believe me, we have no doubt about that, Najambaji, mashallah. But I think overall the message was positive. A few things that, you know, if I can be critical, and I won't be, I'll leave that alone, but just so we understand the first theme so we can move forward, it's already 4 o'clock. This idea of 777 sometimes I think is misunderstood. I think we believe as parents that from the age of 0 to 7 that we let the child do whatever he wants. No tarbiyat, no sort of teaching of akhlaq, no teaching of good. Just let him be. He can, you know, if he's breaking the house, if he's, you know, bad akhlaq, if he's battamid, if he's rude, let him be. It's okay. He's 7, or he's 6, or he's 5. That's not the case. The idea of the first 7 years is that don't give him a burden beyond his ability. Right? Even within the schooling system of Islam, the true teachings of Islam is such that you are not to even allow the child to go to school until he's 7 or 8 years old. Okay? It's a time for him to grow, to be creative, to play, but it does not mean that we don't teach them what's right and what's wrong. That we don't have some form of very mild discipline. It does not mean that you just create a monster and then at the age of 8, miraculously now you begin to beat that monster for the next 7 years. No. It does mean that you don't give them this burden that is beyond their ability. Once the second portion of that 777 arrives, from 7 to 14, now they're ready for responsibility. Now you push them, you motivate them, you challenge them, you give them things in terms of responsibility. You push them towards ibadah, towards worship. The first 7 years, they will kind of figure things out. Now you are very, very critical of them. Of course, under the guise of love and compassion, that's really, really, really important. And like I said in my speech, the last 7 years, of course, is when, that's when, you know, this advisory, this sort of a companion, a friend, you know, somebody beside you in the house comes about. So hopefully those 7 are understood to a certain degree. I think the skit was good. I think the skit captured what they were trying to do. And I like the fact that all of you were very accurate and very real about what happens inside of your homes. And so to the group that's first, the first group on Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, please. In the second skit, can you just remind me what the theme is there? Yes, okay, right. So the why saying that do not raise your children the way you were raised because they live in a different time and different era. All right, the Musa alcohol example, correct, okay. I think it was an accurate depiction of what the reality is. I don't think our parents sometimes realize how difficult of a fight it is for our youth in that environment where they're being, presented with things that are normal to them and haram to us. And then when they do say that I don't want to do it, they're actually, labeled as being abnormal. Or is there a problem with you? Or, what's the issue? Or, they become ostracized, isolated. They kind of be pushed in a corner. So it takes a very, very strong person with immense certain iman to walk away from that. It's a lot easier for them to give in and say sorry later. And I kind of think that's what the message was in the second skit, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I understand the idea of the compassion and the love and the tawbah, and Imran Bhai used a very beautiful portion of a verse to really capture the essence of that message. And he's right, ultimately anything that we do outside of shirk is forgivable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, provided, and he made this point very clear, it's true tawbah, not a game that you play with Allah where you sin and you regret, and you sin and you regret, and you deceive and you believe and you deceive. And no, that of course, kale in that game is not tawbah. I don't want our youth to think, I can have my moments of weakness, I can have my moment with shaitan, and say sorry later, right? Because that's what a lot of the people on the day of Ashura against Imam Hussein did. They're like, look, we know who Imam Hussein is. We know the consequence of shedding his blood. We'll just simply ask for Allah and his tawbah later on. But in the meantime, we get the dunya, we get reward from Yazid, and we get Allah's, inshallah, acceptance. That also is a game that we don't need to play. Ideally, to avoid the sin altogether. If you have a lapse where you fought and you slip, then at that moment it's tawbah. But I don't want the message to be that you had a fun night, a haram night. You come home and your father is there with open arms saying it's okay as long as you did tawbah. And although I understand the idea of love and compassion, that was very. I'm not trying to knock the skit, but I am trying to say that let's try to be more diligent towards not committing a sin. Imam Jafri Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. He says something very, very important. It's a very important hadith. I really hope all of you understand this hadith. He says, when there comes a moment where you can either do one of two things, only not two things. Either you do something good or you avoid a sin, he says. So there's a choice between doing something good or avoiding a sin. You can't do both. I think a lot of us would run towards doing something good, an amal khair. But the sixth Imam says, of the two, what's more important is the avoidance of the sin, not of doing good. Because avoiding the sin is building a base for you to build on. If that base is strong, then you can build for as long as you want, it's not going to fall. If the base is weak, then of course after a while the entire building will collapse. And the strength of the base is based on the non-committal of sins, not the doing of good. I hope that makes sense. So ideally, we're always going to avoid sin, not so much the idea, well, okay, I've done 6 good things and 4 bad things, I'm still 2 in the positive. Right? That accountability, that math, that accounting is not accurate in the deen. It could be that one sin wipes out all of your amal khair. Or it could be that one good act, inshallah, makes all of your sins forgiven. Okay? So I hope that's clear to all of you. Again, a wonderful skit. I thought that Imran Bhai, your delivery was excellent, and mashallah, credit to, with all jokes aside, Najam Maji, you really were able to capture the moment of a dadi. And I think that it's an accurate depiction of the reaction of some of our old school parents, where they're thinking about everything from the rishta of their 8-year-old daughter to how do I go back to the center to how do I do this, and these things, with all due respect, all jokes aside, should be thought about. I know that you guys don't like hearing this from me. That why do we care what other people think? Well, we should compare. We should worry about what other people think. Right? Again, our sixth Imam says that if you are in a point where your amal and your actions are viewed by others, and you have influence over others, good or bad, then that itself is a blessing and a ni'mat. Why? Because you have this policing force over you. Right? So not only are you concerned about your akhirah, but you're concerned about the name of my father, the name of our khandan, the name of our family. No, it's really, really important for us to do that. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Go ahead.
In the analysis of Imran Bhai, I thought where he was going to take us as the audience is to say, I had a lapse.
Sorry, can you just grab a mic for you? I'm sorry.
In the analysis of Imran Bhai, I thought he was going to take us, the audience, to I had a lapse in the moment in us discussing where you are going and what you are going to do. And so let's look back upon that I'm going to a graduation party. Well, let's have a conversation to begin with. Where are we going with that? Because in the tawbah, in the compassion, you know, as decision makers, that was an important turning point or an important allowance or an access point. And so my point is, as parents, a lot of times we may grant permission to our children, not understanding, not strategizing as what potential issues or what temptations may be there.
Yeah. It's a good point, and maybe we can expand a little bit if you don't mind right now. We have some time. You know, in this concept of repentance, it's not just the idea that you're asking Allah for forgiveness for the act that you did, but you're also asking Allah for me to recognize the triggers that caused me to sin. Right? Like Musa should have been a little bit more better equipped to know that he's going to a graduation party, right? I mean, there's not going to be Diet Coke and a salad there, right? There's chips there apparently. But we can't expect there to be other triggers of sin there. And remember, you're walking into this arena of shaitan and sin, and you're the lone wolf in that, and you're doing your best to come out completely unscathed. And that might be a little bit naive in our thinking, right? So either we have this approach that we avoid that area altogether, and that might be the best approach, or we have the idea that we go with a certain mind that, you know what, I'm just going to go show my face and come back. The more I stay there, the weaker I get. Right? So triggers of sin is more important sometimes than the sin itself, right? The sin of drinking alcohol is one thing, but that's an effect of the trigger, right? So in order for us to combat the effect, let's first conquer the causes. So thanks, Farouk, I appreciate that. The third skit was about looking at the face of the parents. And although that was my team, I had absolutely no say in the script. I didn't see. I wasn't here for the practicing. Again, I thought it was well depicted. And in terms of the whispering of shaitan and the angels, and you know, and sometimes we think as kids that, you know, shaitan doesn't get to our parents. He does. I mean, they struggle sometimes to parent just as we do to follow that parenting. And so it was, again, I thought a fairly accurate depiction. I don't know how many zalim fathers we have like Mr. Bhai, nor do we have that much ma'asum children as I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. Yasser, mashallah, that is reading Nahj al-Balagha. Yeah. Oh, I know you've read Nahj al-Balagha, mashallah. That's good. I'm talking about myself. I need to read Nahj al-Balagha, alhamdulillah. No, but it's important, and you might think that this is a little bit of an extreme case, but I think that you might be surprised how many parents there are who are concerned about their kids being too spiritual. And that's why in our activity yesterday I included that as one statement, that are you afraid that my kid might be too religious? And actually 3 or 4 parents stood up. And there is this fear that, okay, if he becomes too, like, you know, Shia Wahhabi and Sushi and all these words, mashallah, come about, then, you know, he may not be able to find a job, Moulana. He's on the Musalla all day long. He's reading this and reading that, Moulana. He has to live his life, and all these things are there. And these are dangerous messages that we're sending to our children, right? So overall, of course, you know, it was very enjoyable, mashallah, and I applaud all of you. I think in the limited time that you had to practice and to do all that, I thought it was very well done. So for yourselves, one loud salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Is there another item to the program, or do I just go into? That's it. Yeah. So that's all.
Any question they have about this topic. And mic we have going around. Yeah. So just related to the skits, the topic, the interaction between parents and son and daughter. Any questions? Please feel free to ask Moulana. This is the time. Yeah. While they're doing that.
Hello. In our skit, we're sorry that we didn't express ourselves very well towards the end. What we wanted to say, it was adding towards that time, and it may not have come out. But what we wanted to predict, what we wanted to show, was a problem that is existing in our society today, in which the kids sometimes know exactly where they want to go, where their interests are, and yet the parents are holding them back. And there are fields other than medicine and other places where they can progress and do a lot of good for the society. And activism and reaching out beyond these means is one of them. We badly need these kids to go into journalism. We badly need them to go into films and other issues which can help the society. And what do you think of that?
Yeah, so it's a very, very important point, and Hassan, can do that. You can do that later. Do it later. It's a point I made at the BQ camp, and it's one that I want all of you to understand very, very carefully. It's a beautiful point by Dr. Saab, mashallah. Thank you for the point. And I think we got that from your skit. I thought the the exchange between Ahmad and my film director and Farhan was good. And then with Morgan coming in and saying, I learned about Iran. I thought that was very well depicted that way. It's beautiful. And it brings you to a point about knowledge itself. And the statement that we have in Islam is this, that knowledge or the pursuit of ilm is not subject-based. It's intention-based. It's not subject-based, it's intention-based. So what we might believe to be spiritual knowledge is not based on sometimes what you're learning, it's based on why you're learning it, if that makes sense. There are people who have spent time in the Hawza and have come out more misguided than they went going in, with all due respect. Then there are those who study, let's say, I don't know, astrology, let's say, or medicine even, or others, or journalism, let's say, and they walk in with shaky iman, and they come out with certainty, based on what? Based on the fact that what their field is brought God close to them. I remember speaking to a youth last year in the BQ camp, who now, mashallah, is a doctor, he's practicing, alhamdulillah, and I would ask him, how is it, and what's your experience? And he says, Moulana, I find God every day in the hospital. And, my certainty about death and about life and about, the intricate details of creation and the body, I could never find with any speeches or any discussions or any books, but I found, let's say, on the gurneys or in the surgery rooms or in the operating theaters. So, it's not a Hawza that he's going to, right? He's a medical doctor, but he found Allah in that. There are people I know that find Allah in accounting principles. Accounting principles, they find Allah. So you're right. It's not necessarily the case where, there is a certain subject, a certain field, a certain place in the country that you have to go to find Allah. No. Sometimes spirituality is found in journalism. Sometimes Allah is found in accounting principles. Sometimes Allah is found in your own business, right? In publishing, let's say, books, for example. Those types of things. So yes, it's not subject-based, it's intention-based. Go ahead.
So as a tag or an additional thought that I was having as you were explaining is we focus in on mind and body throughout our lives. And we do so in a methodical, systematic sort of manner. But yet, arguably, the spiritual aspect is the most important. So as much as getting a career and being able to meet your duty towards your family from an Islamic perspective is important, I feel we have relegated learning Islamic to an hour here, an hour there, that is not organized, that is not methodical, that is not systematic. And so at the end of 400 Muharram lectures at the age of 40, it's not organized in one's mind in a manner that is easily accessible. What's your perspective or your insight to say, do this in parallel?
Yeah, so I'm not saying that it's either or that absolutely I think that there has to be a balance. I'm not saying to not pick up a book and read about Tawheed or about the Day of Judgment or about the fiqh aspect of this or the fatwa about this. No, of course that's our constant responsibility, and absolutely I think everybody here would agree that we simply don't read enough on our spiritual teachings as much as we would like to. There are several books out there now in English, well translated, that weren't available 10, 15 years ago, right? So now the excuses are running out a little bit, and with this advent of English lectures and English speakers, and I think that now it's high time that we give that importance. My discussion based on what Dr. Saab was saying, was something a little bit different, but yes, it has to be parallel. And simply dropping off your child on Saturday school or Sunday school is not sufficient. It never was, it never will be. These schools are meant to reinforce what happens at home, not to replace what happens at home. Right? So it's assuming that you're already doing something at home, half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour here and there. Right? We spend hours doing homework, but we don't spend half an hour, let's say, reading Nahj al-Balagha, for example. Right? So it's important, inshallah.
Moulana, I have a comment. In this days of information overload, we are bombarded with information. The amount of information we are processing, which is going through our minds, is amazing. They say 6,000 hours of YouTube are uploaded every hour. 6,000. And this is an estimate which was done a few years back. So I'm sure it has gone up. So, in Islam, tafakkur, or focusing, concentration, thinking is very important. Even Einstein has mentioned imagination is more important than knowledge. So what is your recommendation? Because it's not like listening or reading books, it's how you are retaining it and how you're processing it and how you're applying it. So as a saying of Imam Ali in Urul Hikam is, I was reading one time, one of the Moulanas we were discussing, he says, a human life is waste unless he gains knowledge continuously. And knowledge is a burden unless it put into action. And action is riya unless there is khulus with it. And there is no guarantee of khulus till the time of death. Khulus can change. So I found that is a very good roadmap or a guideline for a person, that knowledge which is not applied, as even Imam or Sixth Imam has said, knowledge without application is not knowledge at all. So please comment on the importance of concentration and contemplation in whatever we learn. It doesn't have to be too much, which can be only small part. Like even the hadith that Hazrat Abu Zar's most important ibadat was tafakkur.
Yeah, it's another beautiful point that you make, and ironically, in my closing, a few remarks before Maghrib, I was going to say that a lot was discussed these past 2 days, and now the onus and the role now is on all of you to apply what has been discussed. We live in moments, and sometimes those moments come and the moments pass. But the reality is, if we want to capture that moment, it has to be applied, whatever was discussed. Imam Jafri Sadiq, alayhi salatu wasalam, he talks about the journey of information. Sometimes, the word ilm is translated as knowledge, and it's a very weak translation. It's not knowledge. Ilm doesn't have a one-word translation in English. Ilm is a journey, as the Sixth Imam talks about. He said it starts off with information in our head, which we think is knowledge. And that information is first inside of our knowledge. As Farouk said, 400 hours, let's say, of Muharram lectures, and the example I give often are, we attend one ashra, and during ashra we're wowed, we're amazed, we're having mashallah these aha moments. But after ashra comes, we put it inside of a box, we label it Muharram 2018, and it goes into our basement. Now we have boxes, Muharram 2016, Muharram 2010, Muharram, and then whoever goes in our basement and picks up those boxes, right? Until we move homes and we move the box to the new basement, right? It's just more storage. Maybe one day you might find yourself, opening the box and, oh yeah, I remember that talk in 2010 by that alim. But it's all in basements, right? It's all in here. And so he goes on to say, Imam Sadiq, that when it becomes part of your mind, it has to now descend onto your hearts. And you have to capture it. You have to believe in it. You have to be enticed by it. You have to move towards it. And then the final journey of this whole process of ilm is that from the heart it becomes amal and action. So it was once information in a 45-minute lecture, now becomes something that the heart believes in, and now the heart then forces the limbs to work towards it. Right? And so, as Ayatollah Bahajjat rahmatullah alayhi says, if only we acted on what we knew, that's it. No one's asking us to discover new theories or recreate wheels. Just acting on what we knew already. We'd be somewhere else right now. That's why it's important that we constantly remind. Like I remember when I was learning Usul al-Fiqh, one of the books by Shaykh Sadr, my teacher in the Hawza, he knew the book so well that he could tell us what paragraph on what page number, the index, whatever. And when we asked him, how many times have you read this one book? He said 25 times. He's read the same book. To the point now where it's part of his malaka, his disposition. He knows everything. We hear a speech by an alim, and then I remember one time, I was in a different community, and there was, for one Muharram, and I asked about the previous year's Muharram. I said, how was the lecturer, how was the speaker? And sometimes these young kids are very, they're honest, in a brutal fashion sometimes. And so you ask these 10-year-olds who don't have that filter yet, and I asked him, how was he? He was okay, man, but, I've heard all his stuff before. He just keep repeating himself. And so I asked this bold 10-year-old, how much of what you heard have you actually applied? And he became silent. I said, the moment that we see from this end that there's application happening, we'll begin to now present new concepts. But if we see the same issues over and over again, then we're required to constantly remind ourselves and all of you of what needs to be done. Right? And this is the journey of ilm. It's not knowledge. I'm sorry, knowledge is in the brain. Amal is something that the heart also accepts, the aql also accepts, and now the life also reflects that as well. Right? And that's what's really, really important for us to do. And that, you can take that source from anything, from anywhere. Even Imam Ali says sometimes ilm finds its way in the heart of a hypocrite. Somehow it trickles into the heart of the hypocrite. And it says that ilm becomes very uncomfortable inside the heart of the hypocrite until it searches for the heart of a mu'min. And then the mu'min comes and takes that ilm out of the heart of the hypocrite and puts it inside of its own heart. And now it's, mashallah, it's very, it's peaceful, it's comfortable. Why? It's where it should be. So, it's a lengthy discussion, but, these remarks are absolutely accurate. These camps are great, but they're sparks. They're 2-day sparks. Now, to come home tonight, take that spark and convert it to light is all in your court. As husbands, as mothers, as children, it's all up to you now, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Can we wait for the mic if you don't mind? Sorry, it's coming.
And I have a very simple question. You expressed that our children should have a sense of belonging, and we have to create that. Mm-hmm. For that, one of the tools is that you give them some responsibility, and by taking on that responsibility, they'll become part of the household. I do come across with a lot of young children, teenagers. What if they don't want to accept it from you?
So I had spoken in that same speech. I had said that it's a give and take process. In the same speech, I also mentioned and I addressed the youth that you also have to take the reins as well, and you know, then if they don't accept your attempt to make them belong, then they have no right to complain that I don't have a voice inside of my house. But you can't stop trying. So I did my best to balance my addressing to both those of my parents who have to give that responsibility to them, and of course to the kids who have to take that responsibility. If your parent is showing you that respect and that trust in you to say, look, I trust you with this very important task, that's a huge message that they're sending you, right? And for you to reject it is, number one, is a reflection of your own self-image and your own confidence inside of yourself, and you're sending a very clear message to your father that I don't want anything to do with this stuff, right? And so all we can do, my sister, is continue to give them, and hopefully their cup is inverted properly, and that they accept that responsibility. You know, and it always is give and take. Everything is give and take. Even with Allah and us, Allah gives. If we don't take that hidayat, then we don't take the hidayat. Right? The Prophet is Bashir and Nadir. He gives good news, he warns. He gives good news, he warns, but yet still, right? Khatama ala qulubihim. The hearts are sealed, right? So it has to be something that is taken. If Allah doesn't force things, and as parents are, we can't force things. Create the environment, create the mahal at home, give them all the tools, and at that moment, like I said, pray for the best. Nabi Ibrahim prayed, Nabi Nuh prayed, Nabi Yaqub prayed, all the greatest of the people prayed for the same thing that you're praying and I'm praying for. And sometimes, you know, they got great children, like Nabi Ibrahim, and sometimes they didn't, like Nabi Nuh. And I don't mean to simplify it, and obviously it's a cause of worry for all of us, but all we have to do is give them the best that we can. When I asked a question in yesterday's activity, that have you done everything you can? Or do you believe, I think the wording was, do you believe that you could do more, I think? Majority of you stood up. And number one, that was, do you feel you've done everything? Right. So there were a lot of you that didn't feel like you've done everything. So let's at least do our parts, and then inshallah the child will accept the fact that you have great parents, you have loving parents, you have sacrificial parents, you know, who don't do all this for them. I mean, they're not here this weekend to listen to me. Half of you can teach me a few things. They bring you here and they spend their precious weekends so you can perhaps maybe get a little bit of hidayat, not from me, from the environment, and carry that forward. So we have to accept that, we have to appreciate it, and then we have to learn and lean on that and move forward with that, inshallah.
Moulana, any advice, how can we help our community members to do that? Because it's not just us, just few families here. We have a lot of community members coming, more families who are not here today.
Yeah. So I mean, like I mentioned yesterday after the activity, that I know that all these discussions, I'm preaching to the choir, and all of you, mashallah, looking around this room, knowing I think 80% of you and your families, all of you are involved families. The challenge has always been in every community, including my own, is how do I drag that Ashura crowd throughout the year? And it's such a challenge. And we try everything possible in our community. Everything from recreational, and I promise him, look, I promise you, I won't say a word to you. Just come and play. I won't give a hadith, I won't say bismillah, just come and play. I'll play with you, you can leave. And still, you know, book clubs and movie nights and seminars and, you know, field trips, and we've done it all. And there's still a good portion of the youth that simply would choose to be home doing nothing than be here during this program. I do think, sorry, go ahead. No, I don't. I mean, I don't mean to be all you know, all gloom and doom, but it is the idea that we have to begin to create a culture of amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar, and that's a different camp altogether, right? I call it the forgotten obligation. It's wajib on us, with conditions, of course, and it's one thing that our kids just don't do. They can see evil in front of them. They can see sometimes the closest of their friends doing evil, and they're quiet. And there are several reasons for that. One of them is that they don't feel that they have the right to say anything. Who am I to call this person out? Or they have a fear that if I call him out, he'll call me out. Or they adopt the Western mentality that each his own. Mind your own business. You are an individual. You pass by the ocean, someone's drowning, you thank God that you know how to swim and you keep walking. Whereas the deen says, no, you're an ummah, you're a family, you're a body. If one portion hurts, everyone comes to rescue that pain. We haven't quite adopted that yet. There's many of you that know that there are families that are suffering in your community. You know they're suffering, but you don't have the himmah to ask them what's wrong. Because we haven't created that culture yet. We're worried about them saying, mind your own business. That's not the response. Right? Fine, they might be upset, but what you've done at least by asking is you open the door a little bit. That's just a crack. Maybe one day, someday they might come forward and say, you know what, you've asked for help, you're the only one. And who knows, maybe how are you, it's been a long time, where have you been, might go a long way. So once in a while, if you know there are families out there that want to be good and you haven't seen them in a while, reach out. Send one text. You know, just send one. And if you try, you try. Right? All you do is remind. Keep the door a little bit open. If they walk in, you're there with open arms. We're not judging. We're not saying, oh, ho, ho. We're not doing any of that. You try. That's all the Prophet says. That's all we do. We try. Yeah. And because it hurts, you should thank Allah that it hurts. Alhamdulillah, that, you know, like that shows that you bleed for the ummah and the community. Right? But we have to begin this idea that, look, I haven't seen you in a while. Everything okay? You know? And sometimes, you know, I joke around, like there are some youth that are our regular Shabi Jummah youth. And months pass, I don't see them. And I send them just a little small message, you know. If my regular customers don't show up, my shop will be closed.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll try that.
And that's it. And next Thursday, they're right there in front of a member in front of me, right? I mean, and just little small reminders. At least, again, they're acknowledged that somebody in my community remembers me. That's it. The rest, inshallah, will be up to them, inshallah.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Alaikum salam, babi.
बेटा जीते रहिए I have a question, like 2 or 3 questions actually.
No
First
problem.
of all, you should have a question answer session with ladies only. I told you before too. I don't like it that ask question and everybody maybe don't understand my question, just accept you, you know, and you don't have time to explain me every time, you know. Too much time. Your time is very precious. So I want one more Asad Jafri for us. Can you make one more, like teach someone in the community to speak like you, to think like you, or something like a reflection of you? Your kids are coming, you know. I know, but I'm thinking in this community we need one more, because we're always waiting for you. Always saying, oh, when Asad Jafri is coming? Just like my kids.
No, it's not.
No, I'm telling you the truth. Just let me finish.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. And the question.
Just don't scream at me. That's all I ask.
And the question is that's like Amar bil Maruf and Nahi Anil Munkar. Although you are giving so many lectures, but still our community is lacking it. They don't have a courage to say anything in front of it. They just make fun of you, even in our community. They think, and behind the back they do. I don't care, like if they do in front of me. If they do behind the back, I say, please come in front of me and say it. I don't mind, you know, because your personality is different and mine is different. I cannot absorb whatever you can absorb, you know. So my kids also in the same line. And if I do something in front of, like they are like this generation kid, just like I did the skit about it. That's why I did it, because I'm from the old generation still, although I'm not that old, you know. But we are grown up in the old generation, so we were trained like that. And I told you before also when we discussed with the ladies, I think with you.
Yes.
And you remember that?
I do, yes.
And so the question and the frustration inside me is that whenever I say Amar bil Maruf and I do the Nahi Anil Munkar, my kids doesn't like it. Although I'm not that religious. I'm the one that doesn't like the religious kid, because I'm not religious. I'm thinking, are they religious? You know, I don't know what is religious, most religious means actually. I think religious means 5 waqt ka namaz hi, okay, doing everything wajibat and respecting the elders. And that's what I mean religious. I don't know what is the most religious means actually. So can you define most religious to me?
So there's a lot in that in those statements that you had mentioned. There's a lot of topics there.
Okay.
Let me first, if you can address the Amar bil Ma'ruf point that you make. You have to understand that within the 10 furu'i deen that we had that are all wajib, some are conditional, others are not conditional. Like for example, salat for men is always wajib in every halat. Even if you're drowning in the ocean, it's wajib on you. You can't sit or stand, it's wajib on you. But for example, hajj is conditional, fasting is conditional, and amr bil ma'ruf is also conditional. It also has a way of doing it as well. So sometimes I don't think, and I'm not talking about you or anybody else, I'm saying that sometimes it's not so much the fact that we're doing our wajib act, it's perhaps how we're doing the wajib act. Okay? And that's a case-by-case situation. Okay? So if you know that the person in front of me is very hassas, a very sensitive individual, that doesn't react well to a stern tone, then we must change our tone. We can't expect the person in front of me to look past my tone and look at my message. I mentioned in our speech on communication that sometimes it's not what we're saying, it's how we're saying it. Right? So on one wall you'll say no smoking. On one wall you'll have a cigarette butt and a circle and a cross in it. On one wall it says don't you dare think about smoking. On one wall it says thank you for not smoking. The exact same message, but a different tone in each message. And people react to the slightest and lightest little bit of tone. Even the Quran says to the Holy Prophet that if you were harsh with them, they would have left you. Right? So I don't think that, people who have a problem with those who call others out, in the back of their head, I really believe that they respect people like that. I think sometimes it's the tone that's used. That's all. So, we need to figure out what tone to use with who. Number two is the idea of religious. I'll go back to what taqwa means, because taqwa is the ultimate idea of religious, and that's being God conscious, that you find Allah in everything. Right? And yes, on the musalla, in the mihrab, all these things are very, very important, to be conscious and aware of Allah subhanahu, everything that you do. Even how you speak to people, even how you talk to people, even how, even fixing lunch, let's say, for example, vacuuming the carpet, everything has to be this idea of being God conscious. So I agree with you, 5 times salat and, doing your wajibat and respecting your elders, all of that, of course, is within being religious. But a person who makes a decision...
Religious to me. It's a normal religious person to me, not most religious, highest religious.
I don't know if
you are the highest religious
person.
No,
I'm not. Wallahi, I think that you're... I can tell you, and if you don't mind me being personal, I think that your sons are far more better than I am combined, both of them. Only because in my talk with them, it's one thing to find Allah on the musalla. That's easy, sister. It's very easy to find Allah in ruku and sujood. It's one thing where you have a discussion on your field and what work you want to go into, and their only question is, how can I serve mankind in this profession? That's very unique, if you ask me. This community is all about the mighty dollar, right? Like, what's the next big get-rich-quick scheme? Whereas, the youth here, and your sons, mashallah included, are people who are looking for, look, I'm not worried about the money. I don't think they are worried about the money. They're worried about how can I find Allah in what I do. That, to me, is very religious. That's beautiful. That's being God conscious of everyday things. That's what you should be proud of and you should aspire to, right? Yeah.
And one more question.
Please.
Sorry, if somebody asks, I will ask later on with Moulana. So if somebody, I'm in a party, suppose, not a party, like an Eid party, and with Ahl Sunnat, all our like Muslim friends, interfaith, like whoever, they are sitting, and they are talking about Masumeen, wrong hadith, suppose. Should I stand up and correct them? Is it Amar bil Maruf or Nahi anil Munkar, or should I quiet? Should I be quiet?
Again, it's condition. Number one, you have to make sure that you know the hadith yourself.
Yes. It's a very, very clear hadith to everyone.
That's the first thing. So the first thing in Amr bil Maruf is a person doing the Amr has to be knowledgeable themselves, right? Sometimes we are amazing experts at making things that are wajib, mustahab, and mustahab haram, and haram makruh. Okay. So we have to make sure that we know what we're talking about. Number two is, in that environment, if you think that you can make a difference and people will listen, then absolutely stand up. If you think that no, then pull the person aside. If you know the person very well enough, and say, you know what, this hadith you read was incorrect. This is how it is, right? So it's case by case, right? If it's a circle of people that you know, good friends of yours, you have a little bit of ana jana, then Bismillah, right? Say something. Again, using a tone of wisdom, not of jazba. Right? People respond to aqal and hikmat, not to jazba. Okay? So that's extremely important.
Okay, suppose I am telling you wrong hadith right now. Give me the tone. Can you please? No, you can help me. Like, because I'm always jazbati, you know.
No. It's not about you being always jazbati.
We are like, if somebody saying...
I think we are emotional human beings, right?
Yes.
So it's just like, just the way you're talking, just the way I'm talking. So,
suppose it's about Bibi Fatima,
okay.
And somebody telling me a wrong hadith and telling that why she went to the court of Abu Bakr.
Right.
And somebody giving totally wrong hadith that she should not go there. And how should I respond?
I'm not sure where you received that information from, but in my limited, be humble, in my limited research, I've come across this as an accurate statement that's been backed by our scholars. So, maybe you can show me a book that you've read it, so inshallah I can go and check with my scholars. That's it. Put the onus back onto them. Right? And they won't have that book, they won't have that hadith, I'm sorry. They might have heard it on some website or some forum, and that's it. At least what you're saying, sister, is that, look, you can't say these things randomly in public without somebody...
So I have to say that.
If you find that it's going to be effective, yes, you should say something.
So it is Amar bil Maruf. It is included in it.
Yeah, of course it is. Yes,
okay.
it is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is.
I feel good now.
With conditions, inshallah. Thank you. Great questions. Thank you.
I want to address a couple of issues we just discussed a moment ago, because I think they're very important and we don't talk about them enough. That is, why don't people come to Imam Bargas? Why do we see the same faces all the time? One thing that was clearly discussed just now was the fact that having the right programs and having good speakers, mashallah, there are very few people like you, and I wish and I pray that you teach others your style of speaking and the style of communication, etc. But the point that I want to make is best summarized by a post that I just read. I had my nikah in front of the Kaaba, did my umrah with my husband straight after he turned out to be a piece of blank. Just a reminder that piety doesn't automatically equal a good person. I am in contact with a lot of these people who do not come to the Imam Bargas. Some of them have very good reasons. Some of them have very good reasons. Some of them have terrible reasons. But some of the reasons that they say is that people like myself who come to Imam Barga all the time and all to some extent are hypocrites. We show a different kind of a picture in a totally different environment. Over here also, we gossip. We do all those things which we teach against. So this is their perspective. Whether it's true or not, each one of us knows how much of this is true. But I think the community leaders also bear some responsibility for the people not coming to the Imam Bargas. That's all I wanted to say.
Again, it's a lengthy discussion, but the post you read, I have no idea what that post means, with all due respect. It doesn't make any sense to me that having a nikah at Hajj is challenging your husband who turns out to be a bad person. There were people who did tawaf of the Kaaba who, the Imam says were animals. So, but that's okay. We can leave that alone. I think that people who call out others that come to the community are looking to justify to themselves why they don't come to the community. Like, if you don't come to a center because people there gossip, you have not understood the functionality of a community in a center. Like, you're coming here for your grave and your akhirat. You're coming here for you to bridge yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact that they'll say, oh, I don't want to become like you, so I won't come to the center, is a cop-out, with all due respect. They're coming here for dua, for worship, for ibadat. They're coming here to, for atonement of sins in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the person beside you is a gossiper, if the person beside you, let's say, goes here and goes there, that's his journey, that's his issue. It has nothing to do with you coming or not coming. Now, why people don't come? Yeah, I think there's several factors. Number one is, you're right, the programs have to be geared towards a certain style and a certain group of people. Okay? At the same time, I think that there are people who are looking to water down the religion. There are people who want to, who don't want the idea of a speech or a lecture. If it's a family fun camp, stick to coin toss and stick to Pictionary all day. Why do we get this guy from Toronto coming in giving us a speech, blah, 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 We're half asleep here as it is. So there's people like that as well. So now the center, of course, has its own responsibility, right? So there's only a certain way that we can customize the center to meet the needs of those people. We're not going to sacrifice the principles of tabligh, of the message, of the mimbar. We're not going to, definitely. At the same time, I think that we should be flexible in hearing them, asking them, what do you need, what do you want, right? I mean, the question I asked yesterday about family-oriented programs, everybody stood up. This is what we want. We want more family programs, inshallah. Yeah. I think it's for both. I think that you go to the doctor for a checkup when you're healthy to make sure you're still healthy, and you go to the doctor when you're sick to make sure you go back to health. Both of them are accurate. I mean, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim is not guiding me only to the right path; it's keeping me guided on the right path. There's two different things, right? So both things are accurate. I mean, so yes, there are people here who, mashallah, are the pious of the pious, and they are here to make sure they remain the pious. Then there are those who are immoral, who are searching for guidance, and they come on the same mashallah beside the pious ones, searching for the piety that they find beside them. I think both is accurate. Yeah.
Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, of course, we're going to have... I'm sorry? Yes, inshallah, then I'm going to... 4:45, namaz time is 5:20, inshallah, so alhamdulillah, we finish everything on time. I do have some announcements, and of course, we have to announce the winning team over last 2 days. As you know, we have a point system. And alhamdulillah, Radaba is looking at me, but now you didn't win. But inshallah, I'll make an announcement, give the gifts out. We also have a special gift from our brothers, brother Taqwa Media, and also Uncle Khulfan has bring Qurans for kids. So inshallah, we'll be giving out those Qurans as well. But before, I have 1 or 2 more announcements, and inshallah, I would like to request if anyone is in the kitchen or other places, please come, because this is the time we're making all the announcements and giving out gifts and everything, so please be here if you can. We found $10 under the camera, so if anyone, oh, very good. Oh, Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. That's good, I'm glad we found someone. So that's good. Just a reminder, again, we're not pushing this, but I was reminding you, we already think sold 5 or 6 tickets already, so only 5, 6 more left. If you get that, I can get the name, pick out the name and give this camcorder to them. It's $25 per person. If you want it, that's fine. If not, no issues. And if, what's the plan? If no more, are we still doing it, or are we giving money back to the people you got collected money from? So just tell me at the end, please. We'll come to that, okay? So if you get more, just Sister Zainab Razavi is collecting that money if you want to do that. Okay, so before we make the announcement for the winners, I'd like to request Brother Farouk Bandeli to please come. As you know, he is with the Taqwa Media, and he was very kind enough to bring some books as a gift for our families here. As you know, it's a family event, and inshallah, he'll be giving out a special book for all of us. Salawat.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الرسول ربي إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن محجورا 25:30, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, and the messenger cried out, "O my Lord, surely my people have treated the Quran as an abandoned thing." I share this verse with you, and I know we all have heard this verse. Both Raza Bhai, Dr. Ali Musavi, and myself, we were in touch with a scholar by the name of Sheikh Salim Bimji. Many of you know him. He's got a publishing house in Toronto called Islamic Publishing House. And he, over the last 15 plus years, he has published lots of different publications. His most recent publication is titled Ayat al-Kursi, the verse of the throne, the impenetrable armament. This is Ayat al-Kursi. And arguably, on numerous levels, it has numerous benefits. There are 6 sections in this particular work, and I won't go into the details, but the first section is translation, second is commentary, third is an explanation from Tafsir al-Mizan, fourth is Ayat al-Kursi, is it 1 verse or 3 verses, fifth, lessons to be learned from Ayat al-Kursi, and sixth, there's probably close to 100 pages on the benefits of Ayat al-Kursi.
So what Sheikh Salim had requested is that he has published this out of donations, and he wanted people to bring it to their centers and distribute it. So we were concerned this afternoon, subhanAllah, that we would only have 25, but alhamdulillah, Dr. Ali Musavi also brought his 25. So we have 50 copies. We're thinking one per family for right now. And so we don't want to hold it up, but eventually, as the program goes on, just come by and inshallah we'll give one, one per family. But once again, just remember 25:30. It's a verse that. It's a verse that I don't want to be in that complaint on the Day of Judgment of the Holy Prophet. I don't want my children to be in that complaint. I don't want my community members to be in that complaint. So 25:30, inshallah. Jazakallah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So I'm just thinking the best way to do this when we are leaving, please contact, men can pick from here. How are we going to do it if the family from men and, sorry, Farouk, how are you going to distribute this? So it's smooth. Per family, yeah, just pick one from the family on the way out. I think if you can, all men can pick. Agar yahan pe men nahi hai unke, then ladies can pick there. Okay, so mostly men, please pick one. And if there are no men from the ladies' side, just ladies can ask. Sister Sajda Bande Ali, they're back there, inshallah. Okay, this is, of course, the most important announcement I'm making before I'm making again. Alhamdulillah, last 2 days were amazing with Moulana, as you know. We're learning a lot. He's amazing. He's been coming to Baitul Qaim for the last 10 years. And Alhamdulillah, this is the 10th year he's coming back in July. So please mark your calendar, July 17th to 22nd, okay? And of course, it's summer vacation, but if the best way to do this, if you can, adult parents take off, because you have to go every day and then come bring them back. If you take off for a week, I mean, a good time, take a couple of days off, 3 or 4 days, and take your kids there. Excellent camp. I've heard a lot about it. Inshallah, I'm planning to go this year myself, inshallah. So please sign up with brother Misbah Bhai and Nurma Baji back there as soon as possible. Sooner you sign up, easier for them to plan. So don't wait. I'm sure Baitul Qaim kids are already coming, but Bait Wali Asr, MFI, and Astana kids, please sign up soon so we can go to this camp. And also, of course, Sheikh Salim Yusuf Ali is with him. Most of you know him as well. He's been here too. So it'll be an amazing camp, inshallah. So please sign up. It's a 4-day, 6 days camp, inshallah. So please, as I said, my math is bad. So okay, so. I would like to take this opportunity especially. This is the first time we have, at least for now, we have done the family camp. We spoke about this. And of course, the Bait Wali Asr crowd here, but the majority other crowd is Baitul Qaim crowd. We would really like to thank all of you for being here and being so supportive and helpful. Without your help, we couldn't do this perfectly, alhamdulillah, the way it worked out. Because you guys were just like, basically you know us so well, like family. Like the kitchen, they took care of everything. We didn't do anything. Baitul Qaim crowd did most of the work here. We'd like to thank them with a loud salawat, please. And inshallah, when we come in July, we'll try to do our best to help you guys. Inshallah. So, okay, so now with that, are you guys ready for the winning team? Yeah. All right, no fighting, okay, please. Now, I would like to request Moulana to please, if you can stand up, please, and then you can give out the gift cards for the winning team.
That their team is not getting #1?
Of course, well, yeah. Mama, maybe you can hand him Moulana. Okay, inshallah. So I apologize. I know we have a lot of teams, but we have limited resources. So we have one gift for the first prize only. So all the members of the first the team will get something. And it was a close call. I'll tell you this. So please don't get disappointed if your team didn't win. So let me just see, and just to make it a little more fun, and we will have time. So I'll tell you the scores, so you guys know how bad you guys did. So let's start with green team first. I know green team is very excited, of course, because of Ali Raza Musli is here, and he creates all the fun and excitement. They got 139 points. Wow. Sounds a lot, but they didn't win. Blue team, of course, I was on it. It's better than green team, but no, we still lose though. Moulana was on it too, by the way. Sorry, Moulana. 162 points.
Okay, I'm going to skip the winning team and go down. Team Purple got 155 points. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Team, I think some of them are not even here. So let's go back. Blue team leader, Misbah Bhai. Loud salawat for him. Thank you for all your help, Mr. Bhai. That was excellent. Green team, Raza Bhai right here. MashaAllah, always fun here and a lot of work. Great goalkeeper there, soccer yesterday. And, and yeah, and Moulana was excellent also. And then who else? We have a yellow team, Abbas Bhai. Where is Abbas Bhai? Abbas Bhai, great captain. Of course, a great sportsman too here. Team Purple, ladies, I'm not sure who the leaders were, so please. Purple Nurma Baji. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Team Pink, Zainab Abidi, good job. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Oh, I'm going to tell you the score one second. I'm just doing the leaders because they're... and then Team Peach leader, Elia. Thank you, Elia. You were a sub, I thought. You were only temporary. I guess not. All right, loud salawat for Elia then. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. All right, so where were we? We talked green, blue score. We did the purple team, 155. And then Peach team got, 124 points. So that's okay. You were last, but no problem. Sorry. I'm mean, huh? Devil is next to me right now.
That was terrible. Everyone has to give them another round.
Loud salawat. Allahumma salli. See, I cannot say much. Peach team were with blue team in this skit. We're together. So we did a good job. Yes. All right. Now the close scores were between yellow and pink. I got everything else, right? Everyone else? So only yellow and pink. So you guys ready? So the score for yellow team, which were really good throughout this whole thing, which was Abbas Bhai's team, was 200. Loud salawat for them. So mashallah, they were really good team. And, but, of course, so of course the team which is left is pink team. But the best part, wait. The best part is their score was, can you guess?
201.
201. They beat them at 1 point. Loud salawat for pink team. So I would like all the pink team to please come on this side outside here. And of course the leader needs to be there to collect the gift. So you're going to hand this basket first to them, to the leader, and then they will distribute this stuff and then gift cards for them. Don't forget that point. Actually, they were, she won. Why 1 point? That was pretty cool. That's right, because I missed 30 points on her. You're like, what? Oh, that would be in trouble. Yeah, so I'd like to request the leader of Pink Team, Zainab Abidi, to come inside. And then Moulana, okay, we need pictures. Everyone come here, please, inside. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we need the pictures for the, can you move back a little bit, please, Torasa? Thank you. All right, so, but remember, we have some books and amazing Quran for everyone, so please be seated here. We're going to call you guys. We're doing good on time. So, all pink team is here. MashaAllah, that's perfect. People who are here will get the gifts. People who already left, sorry, they miss out. That's the rules. So, first thing is they got a nice big basket of goodies, and Moulana inshallah will give to the Zainab Abidi, the captain of the team, and she will distribute that to other people. Salawat, Allah. Oh, Moulana is holding on to it now. Sorry, you're not going to get this.
Trying to see which one he wants.
Yeah, right. Make sure she gets one.
Are you getting the hint?
Right. Where's my basket? Moulana is too heavy to carry to Canada. Yes, please. I knew you would do the exact same thing. So,
they did all this very good job.
Loud salwas for this. Okay, so please take a nice pictures of this winning team here with Moulana being right here next to it, please. Okay, next to him. All right, that's good. Alhamdulillah, please take a picture. You got a picture? MashaAllah.
V for victory.
Come on, do the hand signs.
You can get the camcorder.
Live a little, guys.
Camera.
I think you should get this way. Thank you.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Oh, okay, and then everyone will get a gift card. Go ahead. Yeah. All right, so one of the gift card. Yeah, all of the one each. One person. Just give it to her and then we distribute, okay? And the rest, give it back to me. I like to have Dunkin' Donuts too. Okay, so now, yes, we're done with that. So now, one more, as I said, courtesy of Uncle Khulfan here. He is giving us Qurans to our youngsters. We're going to go with the younger kids. I would go, let me see, 8 or less, 8 or younger. 8 or younger, okay? So we will wait, 8 or younger, start come. 8 and younger boys and girls, come on, get your Quran, inshallah, from Moulana. Go ahead. Stay here. Everyone stay after you take it. We're going to take a picture. You guys can exit. Yep. Yeah. Zainab? Zainab.
Stay here, stay here.
Sure, of course.
Where are the other young kids? I know we have more. Beta 8 and younger.
Sisters, right?
Okay, good. Salman. Sisters. Any young kids 8 and younger? Salman, did he get it? Okay, good. All right. Taqi Abbas, where are you?
9.
No, 9. We have extra hand, we'll give it to them. Just wait 8 and young. Give it to, he's too young. He's too young right now. 8 and younger, anyone? Sana, did you get yours? Quran? You're not 8, you're older. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sana. And, no. All right, anyone else? I'm not going to go there. I'm in big trouble. All right, so now, 1 second. Now we can get the 9, age 9 can come get the Quran now because I want to make sure. And we're going to take a picture with everyone. Go ahead. 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
9 and 10, come on here. 9 and 10.
You're 9, come on.
Not 9 or 10, right?
9 and 10. We're going to give all the Qurans out. Yeah, good. 10, age 10. And everyone stays here, get a picture with Moulana, okay? We're perfect on time. Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
anyone else here? 9 and 10? Any 11s? 11 here. 12. Age, how many we have? 2?
We have 3 more.
Okay, age 12. Anyone age 12? Hamza, age 12? Quran.
That is all. 3 more.
3 more we have. Age 12. Age 12.
We have 3, that's it.
Perfect. 12?
And these 2.
12. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Uncle. Shukriya wa aapka. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, please get together. Closer. Girls, get closer. There's a good picture. Come on, get closer. Moulana, yep, good. All right, everybody.
Hamza, get back here. One second.
Muhammad, aap yahan pe aaja. Okay, good. Where's Taqi Abbas and everyone else, other kids? Chaim, kids only. All right, unless you want to be the 12-year-old. Very nice. Loud salawat for all kids. Inshallah. Salli ala Muhammad wa Ali. Since we have few minutes, what we can do is to make it easier. Sorry. Okay, so now, Moulana, you can have a seat. I would like to request Brother Farooq to give the books out now as we can. One person from the family, please come and collect your book, please. Go ahead. All right, please get the book. Okay.
Hand up, please. Put your hand up if you're in a family head, and I'll just come by.
I'm the head of my family.
There's nothing else after that. That's why I'm finishing up before the month. Yeah, I'm going to go right now. We have time. We have 15 minutes right now. All right, get your books, everyone. And the sisters, if your men are not here, please send a sister, and he will give the book out to the sister. But one per family, please. No better, young.
So what are the other teams getting?
Nothing. Okay, everyone. Moulana has a concluding remark. Concluding remarks before we finish. So please have a seat after you get the books. Everyone sit down. Ek book yahan, right here. All right, as I said, one per family. If men have taken the book, ladies, not, I'll take one. I did, I think, yeah, thank you so much. Huh? We have extras? Okay. So we do have extra books if anyone wants someone else for other family members or to give it out to other family members. Please feel free to come and get from.
If you want extras, just let me know. Put your hands up and give to your family members. Somebody who will make use of it. If you feel there is somebody who will make use of it.
Yeah, please have a seat because Moulana has concluding remarks here, and inshallah we'll finish and we're ready for wuzu and then Maghrib prayers. Moulana's flight is 8 o'clock, so he had 8:20 I believe, so he has to leave right after namaz, so there's nothing else after namaz. So we're going to do namaz. We have packed lunch, dinner for you, so you're going to take your dinner and go with you inshallah. Before I give mic to Moulana, can we have everyone sit down please, and everyone inside if you can. Sisters, if you can bring back, because this is important. Moulana is giving last concluding take-home point and also, of course, you know, remarks. Okay, so, all right. If anyone else can come on inside, please, so we can do this, finish quickly. So, I'd like to take this moment to, of course, from on behalf of Imam Zamana Foundation of North America, Beth Wali Al-Asr, to thank Moulana for coming here. Most of you know we've been trying to get Moulana for a long time here, and we really are happy and honored that he was here. He spent 2 days with us. We can't thank him enough for accepting our invitation and being here. And we hope that he comes back again soon. We like to do camps at Beth Wali Al-Asr a lot, so inshallah we can coordinate with you if you have time. We will love to have you back, like camp that you do at Beth Al-Khaim. We have a lot of youth here at Beth Al-Asr as well. And thanks, special thanks to Misbah Bhai who helped us get Moulana here, and Nurma Baji as well. So please thank you, and a loud salawat from Misbah Bhai and Nurma Baji for helping us out. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa alim. I'd like to request my father-in-law, Dr. Musa Jafri, to say a few words for Moulana, thanking him. Inshallah, salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya al mursaleen abil qasim Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity, and praise be to and blessings be upon the awaited savior of our time, Al-Hujjat Imam Mahdi Ajallah Ta'ala Faraj Sharif. These camps, alhamdulillah, I find we get most return on their investment. We have been on this journey to propagate the teachings of Quran and Ahl Bayt to our youth in the modern contemporary times. We have been doing these camps for several years. Started about almost 35 years ago. We used to have camps in our houses, and alhamdulillah, we found that they were the most beneficial. And we also had contemporary work seminars focused on propagating the message in the language the children understand the best, which is the language of this country. And we had a lot of opposition and resistance in the past that even people were asking, what is the language the Munkar and Nakir will ask you when you go to the grave? So I said, they're not going to ask in Urdu, I'm sure. So whatever language you understand, they will ask the questions in that language. Am I correct, Moulana? So this has been an uphill task, and I see the fruits are bearing now. You know, we are so appreciative of, you know, the people understanding that the message is more important than the language of communication. You know, the message has to be in the proper language that the children understand. And alhamdulillah, we find Moulana is an excellent communicator. And alhamdulillah, with his taqwa and all that, I think he's a very good role model for all of us, and especially for our youth. Being born in this country and being brought up in this country, it's a great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to find people like Moulana who can communicate so well and can connect with the youth. So I was just mentioning yesterday, I was reading a very small one-liner. It says, connect before you correct. So we have to connect with the kids before we do any tabligh. So that's why that's the message of Islam. Do in the best way possible, and alhamdulillah, we are honored to have people like that, people like Moulana, Syed Asad Jafri, and we hope we can have more Moulanas who can communicate like that. And alhamdulillah, he will be reaping both his rewards in this world and in the hereafter. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And may Allah and our Imam of our time protect him from all calamities, and both bodily and spiritual, and give him more tawfiq to continue his message. Thank you very much. This is a gift. Please accept this as a small token of our love and affection for you, Moulana.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I've been talking all weekend long, and if I can ask if there's anyone in the kitchen, especially on the women's side, then if you can get them to come inside, that would be great. Just for 3 minutes, inshallah. It's okay. Dinner can wait an extra 5 minutes. It's okay. I'd rather them hear this message. Please, please come in, please. Please. First of all, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity and this tawfiq on behalf of all of you to come like this and have what I thought to be a very beneficial and a very excellent 2 days together. This was, I think, the first camp that Beit al-Asr did, and I am blown away at how efficient and how organized they were. I think that the team was communicating very, very well, and I don't usually mention names. I don't like to mention names, and without Islam talks about winners. We don't refer to the khasirun. I'm sorry. I don't mention names, but I feel like I have to in this time, and with all due respect to Mutahar Bhai, who of course is excellent, his entire team. I would really like to, and she's going to hate me for this, I would really like to acknowledge the works of Sister Zainab. And as she hides behind the door in the back, I think it's, I don't think that you realize the intricate details that are being done. And I don't claim that she worked alone. I know this does not happen alone. But I think the vision, the brains, the mehnat, the zahmat, all of it, a lot of it, I'm not saying all of it, was hers. And I am grateful to her. I'm grateful, of course, to her husband and her kids for supporting her in this cause. I thought that everything was laid out quite well. I was always concerned, and I told her I was concerned about how tight the schedule is. But the minute precision by which we were yesterday on time, I thought was incredible. It was a completely full day to the point where people were wiped out until 11 a.m. this morning. But I think that the camp was in my mind, a success. I've been to many camps up and down North America, and the elements that I saw in these 2-day camps were outstanding. I'd like to pray, of course, for the tawfiq of Sister Zainab and, of course, her husband Muhammad, who I know from Qum, mashallah, for their tawfiq, for their health, for the success of their children, inshallah. One salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, please. The purpose of these 2 days and in my various discussions, we've just been trying to make all of you aware of the importance of the family structure. And don't take it lightly. And it's, I know many of you looking around the room are already investing in your children wholeheartedly. Just continue to do that. With the hopes that, one day when that child is faced with danger and you're not around, they'll be reminded of your tarbiyat and they'll make the right decision. So everything from the tribal mentality to communication to the idea of understanding that even the prophets prayed for a good family, all of that was important for us to understand. Now the onus is back onto you to apply what has been discussed. To make a plan and start small. If that means that you sit down tonight or tomorrow as a family and decide as husband and father and husband and wife that you will do one Jamaat prayer a week. Where the husband leads, the wife is a little bit to the left and 2 kids are at the back, then so be it. If that means that you plan to have dinner every single night at 7 p.m. at the table, whether you're hungry or not, to sit together and share a meal, then so be it. If that means that you plan a road trip, if that means that you plan a games night, whatever the case may be, I want some takeaway from all of you based on these 2 days. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is I also want to recognize the BQ family and specifically the Saturday school at Beit Al-Qaim for 2 reasons. Number 1 is, I don't know how many of you know, but they closed their Saturday school to promote the idea of them coming to the camp here at Beit Al-Asr. And this inter-community ittihad that we see, I think is vital. It's very, very important. And I'm very proud of the BQ family, who is also my family, for them coming and supporting and getting involved and getting right in there. I know they were dying to be more involved, but they held themselves back, inshallah. But it is important for the Beit Al-Asr family to realize that you always have support, at least from Beit Al-Qaim. Now, you know that in Islam, when someone says Salaamu Alaikum, it's wajib to say Wa Alaikum Salam. So this camp was Salaamu Alaikum, this is Wa Alaikum Salam. If I don't see the Beit Al-Asr family at this camp with these 2 good-looking scholars there, then it's going to be a big problem. And now I know every single one of you, from Dr. Musri, inshallah, to Mutahirba, inshallah. Okay? I think it's important, though. I think it's important. If we bounce these ideas off each other and support each other, it sends a good message to the youth who are tired of seeing intra-fighting, and to us that, you know, we can come together, put our differences aside, and work towards one cause. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And I just want to thank the entire Beit Al-Asr team, Musa uncle, of course, and, Mutahirba, everybody who deemed me worthy to be part of this camp. There's many English lecturers out there who are native speakers who you could have chosen. You had, for some reason, made the mistake of inviting me to the camp, but I am very, very humbled by that invite. I apologize if I said too much in my attempt to be funny. If I hurt anybody, I apologize. The attempt always was just to remind myself of basic things that all of you, mashallah, already know. So please accept this humble apology from your brother and your son, inshallah. And I ask you to please pray for me, inshallah. I'll pray for you as well, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
All right, we have 2 minutes for namaz, so please go ahead, do wuzu if you have not, and then we'll start namaz, inshallah. And remember, dinner, please pick up your bags on the way out. Oh yeah, one more thing, blue team, we need to clean up before we go, because that was our responsibility, we didn't do anything. So blue team will make sure everything is done before we go, inshallah. So please stay back, blue team, we need everybody's help, okay?
سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم اجعل قلبي بارا واشقارا وعملي سارا ورزقي دارا وأولادي أبرارا واجعلني عند قبر نبيك محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله مستقرا وقرارا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين صلوات
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن علي ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاح حي على الصلاح حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله